Hello, everyone. I'm your digital host, Tatiana White, and welcome back to 48's digital series, This Month Matters. And so, April celebrates Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month, which is a time not only to raise awareness, but to also promote understanding, inclusion, and acceptance for individuals on the autism spectrum. And so, today I am joined by Vanessa and Joaquin Tucker, who are the owners of the We Rock the Spectrum Huntsville, which is an exclusive sensory gym designed for children of all abilities. And so, how are you both doing today?
We're doing good.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
both so much for joining me. I'm very excited. I saw your guys' like Facebook and everything for when I was looking for autism awareness, people that could come on and speak, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So
Yes, yes,
Thank you for
absolutely.
having me.
yes, of course. And so to start, can you guys just kind of share your story as like your as parents, and then how your son's autistic diagnosis, how that kind of played a role in the journey today?
Absolutely. So we have two boys actually. One with autism. He was diagnosed at 3. And then the other one, he does not have a diagnosis. He does have dyslexia, but not really a neurological thing. So when our son was diagnosed, for me, I come from a rather large family, and 16 of us. And I had never heard of autism. I'd never heard of that. And so when we took him to Vanderbilt for, I guess, to be diagnosed, we ended up, or to get assessed, I'm sorry, he was assessed for autism. I thought they were going to take blood work or something, but it was more of an observation type thing. And so when they actually diagnosed him, we made it our business to kind of educate ourselves, read up on it, do all the research to basically help him,
Yes,
give him the help he needs because, again, I was not privy to autism. So once I started diving into it and we started learning more about it, we was like, oh my goodness, he needs to be in therapy. He needs speech. He needs OT. He needs ABA therapy, which was a major thing for him. And so I know some people is probably against the ABA, but I will say the behavioral therapy was a huge thing for us. Starting him early,
Yes.
early intervention is very, very important. Our son was had a lot of sensory issues, and he had speech delay. He was having issues with expressive language, and he did do a lot of echolalia, things like that. But
Echolalia is a form of where they repeat the same words over and over.
Okay.
So although his speech was not formulating and coming out, he did use devices that kind of, catapulted him into speaking better. So it's called what is known as a LAMP device. So it kind of speaks for you and helps you transition into language.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
That seems so helpful to, like repetition. And I feel like that can help you be able to talk
Yes.
more, be able to understand more, figure out your emotions and everything. And so, what advice would you kind of give to parents if they're also looking for getting their child a diagnosis similar to how you guys did? And what can they expect? Because I know you said it was different than what you thought it would be with getting that.
oh my gosh, I know autism is a big thing now, but back then it wasn't as big. But I would say once it's hard to get in anywhere to kind of get the help, or to get in with a doctor or nurse practitioner that can kind of assess your child for autism or ADHD. So I would try to, Harry, I guess you can say, get a, what did we do? Did we get this was a while ago. Our son is 11 now, and then this happened when he was 3.
Yeah.
So what did we do?
So what it is, I tell a lot of parents that are looking for resources is that right now it's a 12 to 18 month time span. So what that
Yes.
takes is that you can reach out to numerous resources to try to get selective services, but right now at a minimum is 12 to 18 months. What I do advise parents is, early detection is very important.
Yeah.
Like my wife mentioned, at 3 years old, we did our detection. I actually was familiar with autism. I actually have some family members that are autistic, but I caught early detection around as early as 18 months. There were some things that Julian was doing in regards to stacking toys and or lack of eye contact. Those are two big resources in the things that you can see. Lack of eye contact, like my wife mentioned, lack of verbal communication, and just wanting to be by herself.
Yeah.
So we made sure to look into those as early, when I meet individuals that say, hey, is your child have good eating habits? Are they willing to eat and everything? Or is texture a big thing? Those are big cues to check for children that could potentially be on the autism spectrum. But going back to your initial question, 12 to 18 months of just finding resources. Madison County, Huntsville cities has good resources, but it is still a waiting game. So just have to be patient, do the little things, do your own internal research, find focus groups that work with individuals, find resources, outlets. We thrive ourselves on, we rock the spectrum. It's a kids sensory gym. It's a gym where all kids can come to play. Individuals of all different walks and backgrounds come to play into one place. So,
I would also say get with your pediatrician and have them send out a referral for an assessment for the child to see if they have autism or ADHD or whatever it is. Because I believe that is the route we took.
And get a second
that's
opinion
how,
as well. You can, it doesn't hurt to
yes,
get one.
we did get a second opinion,
Yes,
actually,
absolutely.
because we took them to, again, I was not aware when they assess children with autism, I was not aware that all they did was just ask them questions. I was thinking there's going to be blood work because, again, we went to a doctor. But I thought it would be blood work, but it was not. It was not anything what I was thinking. But again, I was the one that was kind of ignorant
But
of autism.
They do genetic tests.
Okay.
That is a route that you can take. It is not 100% accurate, but that is another method. Once you do find out if your child is on the spectrum, is to get a genetic test to see if there is some chromosomes or so if it is a parent trait from the mom or dad.
Right.
So that is additional research you can do.
And that is here in Huntsville, actually. So they can do that here. They will have to
Hudson
get.
Alpha is a resource for that.
Okay.
They'll have to get a referral for that as well, for parents. And what I want to kind of drive a point on is early intervention is very key to helping these children. You don't want to wait to get them the help that they need, because the earlier they can start getting the services that they need, the better, because they'll remember it as they get older.
Yeah.
I just remember when we signed him up for ABA, our son used to have behavioral issues, meaning he would hit sometimes, he would fall out. But all of the ABA therapy that he received, he understands. And then plus the parents being involved. We can't just let these therapists do all the work, and then when he gets home, we don't implement what they're teaching him.
You have to take
So
the training.
Right. Yeah.
they do parent trainings, which is helpful.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so I believe that I don't want, because sometimes I see this, I don't want the parents to just put it all on the therapist as if it's just their responsibility. This is a group thing. This is a team effort.
Yes, it
We
takes
are
a village.
Yes, it literally does, and we all need to work together, be saying and doing the same things with this child, because one thing about children with autism on the spectrum, they need consistency.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be saying the same thing so that it can click with them, and they realize, oh, it isn't okay for me to hit. Soft hands, nice hands, whatever they say. I think we heard, just as an example, we can say this because it's our child.
Yeah.
He was in therapy one time, and he hit one of the therapists on their arm. And the question she said was, do we hit? Do we hit? And it makes them think. And then he'll say no, And so we started using that same terminology. Oh, do we do that? Do we do this? And then they'll know, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. So our son now is 11 years old, and he does not hit.
Yeah, he's one of the sweetest kids you'll
So,
ever meet. Loving and adoring child.
If he gets frustrated, we have taught him to count to 10. We have taught him to take deep breaths, and they've done that in the school system. They've adapted what we kind of tell them. Again, it takes a village, right? We all have to be saying the same thing. And so I think that's the important part. Starting young, don't wait. Although there is a wait, 12 to 18 months in most places, I will say. You might have to go outside of the state and go to Tennessee, like what we did, and go to Vanderbilt or somewhere in Birmingham at UAB that does these types of testings. But you have to do what you have to do. We have to be the biggest advocates for our own children, And that's how we decided to jump into a sensory center. Is what the original thing was. So we wanted to open what was called a sensory center, because we ended up having another child who was not autistic, and we had a child who was autistic. So we wanted to create a space where both of them can come and enjoy and play and grow, where they can grow together, no matter their abilities.
Yes, and I love that you guys were able to find like the resources that you guys needed, and learning those different symptoms, and taking proactive steps to also be able to implement it at home, because like they can learn there, and like it can kind of, I feel like maybe they'll realize like, oh well, okay, only if I'm at the center this is how I act, and then if you don't do it at home, and it's like so it's so good. And then I feel like you guys mentioned about school, it can help you guys advocate for like an IEP or something as well. And so I think that's absolutely amazing that you guys kind of team up to make sure that no matter school, center, wherever, it's all working out. So
and even in the school systems, they also have lawyer advocates for IEP. I don't know if everybody knows that, but that is an option out there that individuals should look into if they don't, because there are parents out there that don't know what to say or do in IEP meetings. They are not fully aware of, I feel like this is important because they come to us and they ask questions. Not everybody is fully aware of what to say and what to do or what to input into their child's IEP. But guess what? Those advocates know.
Yeah. Exactly.
They are called, I think they're lawyers, or have a history of being on or something. But anyway, they're lawyers.
Okay. And how can people kind of connect with that? Is that at the school, or do you just find them, or?
This person we found. How did we find her?
It was just the internal resource that somebody had mentioned too. But there is, like my mom did mention.
They can contact us, and we are happy to give that information to these parents. And it does come with a fee, but it's a fee that is worth it, because your child will be on the right path. Your child will get everything that they need. And the school systems, they understand that these advocates know what they're talking about. And so if you don't advocate, who will?
Right, and investing in your child
That's
in
right.
the future. So
That's right.
And you guys mentioned about you guys having another child that doesn't have autism. And so how do you guys kind of balance that? Because I know you guys probably have to give a little more attention sometimes, to your child that is on the spectrum. So how does that work? How do you guys navigate that?
So I'll talk about this one. It is give or take on that situation. His name is Vincent. He is, what my wife mentioned earlier, he is neurotypical, but he does have a little bit of form of dyslexia. He's been able to work through that. We've been able to get him working as via tutoring services, and he's been able to adjust. But early on, we talked to Vincent and Julian, set him down, and we talked to him, hey, one day mommy and daddy might not be here. You're still going to have to advocate for your brother. You're going to have to be, although you're younger, you're going to have to be his big brother. You are your brother's keeper. We have done the due diligence as well as investing in like custodial accounts, doing a living will. 6 or 7 years into marriage, at the time, having to do something of that nature and that magnitude is something you really don't think that you have to do at such an early age. But we wanted to make sure that resource was put into play, that, God forbid something happened to us, that boys would be taken care of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we made sure that that resources. But in addition to that, like Julian and Benson know that, hey, y'all have to play together. They watch after each other. They're very protective over each other. As they're getting older, I'm seeing it more so with Benson to say, although my brother is different, he's still my brother. Sometimes he might force him to tag along when Julian doesn't really want to go, but Benson really makes him come along. And although they have their own individuality, it is good to see that they're still brothers and they get along very well.
Yeah. I just wanted to tag on to what he said about the wills and the estate planning that we did. For our son that has special needs, there is a separate one that we have to do for him being a special needs individual. So parents need to understand that, yes, you can have an estate, but if something was to happen to, like you said, like to us, we need to have things in place exactly on what the child with the special needs need, and it takes time to get it in place. But like if he needs his services, like therapy, or if there's a certain thing, like it's very, very detailed. So I would definitely find a estate planner that specializes in special needs individuals, because that's very important.
There's a lot of resources in Huntsville for that. So just Google it. There's estate planners, so they can help you with that as well.
Yeah, and I love that you guys are open to have like these hard conversations with your children, because I know it can't be easy. And then also being able to just have a plan and being realistic about any situation that could arise, and just being prepared so that even if you guys were not to be here, they still have each other and they're still set. So,
Yes, and our youngest did struggle a little bit. Because he wants to play. He's like, my brother won't play with me. He'll play for a little bit, then he wants to play by himself, And so we've had to have these conversations to try to explain to him. Because I think sometimes these siblings are overlooked when it comes to your child with the special needs. It's so much emphasis focused on the child with the special needs that we forget. It's easy to forget about the child, and what their needs are, and they're what they want. They just want to play. They want to be, and so I think that needs to be talked about too, because your child that doesn't have special needs, he has feelings too. He has things that he wants to do, right? And so we had to navigate through that with him. And so I'm glad we got a chance to see that, and he was able to vocalize all of that. And we were like, oh my God, we're so busy trying to help him. We're like, oh, he's fine. You think he'll figure it out. But in reality, he needs us too.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So yeah, we had to navigate through those that as well. So yeah.
Yes, and I love that you guys created this gym to be able to have other siblings that probably go through that too, and they can still play together, find their space in Huntsville and with other kids and stuff, and so and even other families, they may not even know other families and stuff. So that's amazing that it's just unifying everybody together in a way. So
and that's why we did it. I kept telling my husband, I was like, surely we're not the only family up here that's dealing with this. Surely not, Surely there's other families that can benefit from this. And you don't necessarily have to have a special needs to come to the gym. Like I said,
it's a fun place for all kids.
It's for all kids.
We really pride ourselves on having a space that's inclusive for everybody.
Who doesn't want to get on the zip line as a
Exactly,
kid,
And I feel like it's that's what all kids love. They love to play, and so they just all have that one space where they can go play. And if they do, their sibling wants to go off, navigate on their own, it's still okay.
It's okay. And the way that it's structured or built, the parents can actually sit there and watch everything, So we've heard from quite a few parents that they like our facility because they can actually see their child and everything that's going on, and there's no anxiety from that. And that's kind of what we wanted it to be, an open space to be able to see everything going on. There won't be any control, any I guess issues or anything like that. So
Yes, absolutely. And you guys turned a lot of this into action, and
Yeah.
you guys created a nonprofit. So can you guys talk a little bit about the Autism Help Foundation and the impact it's had?
sure. So we created this, the Autism Help Foundation, as right after our son was diagnosed. And the purpose of this foundation is to, well, originally it was like, okay, these therapy things were very expensive. So we're going to raise money and try to help provide resources for that, like financial resources for that. And then we were like, oh, we need to expand on top of that, and provide other resources. So we actually partner and raise money. We've given a lot to Huntsville City Schools, in particularly Goldsmith and Hampton Cove area, because that's who we partner with mainly up in that area. Not that we're against the other schools. We love the other schools. It's just that we're up there.
Yeah.
So anytime we also raise money to give to a I think one of the therapist clinics, the Hope Clinic.
No.
Yes. So we raise money for them as well, and then we just want to do things within the community for special needs. It's just those types of things.
And we're looking to, continue to spread the word. And, if families are looking for financial assistance in regards to ABA, speech, and occupational therapy, there's a reach back contact that you can reach to us, and we'll look to, if it's written up in a diligent way, then you can provide some resources to pay for a couple therapies.
Also, we also raise money for the We Rock the Spectrum buses.
Yeah.
Those vans so those vans are used to go pick kids up for after school care at the prospective schools. And so that's how in that area, that was the biggest need. They needed more resources for that. So We Rock the Spectrum is also here to meet the needs of the community as well. It's not just, here just to be here, but we want to meet the actual needs that's going on, and that's what it's about,
Yes. And so with the vans and stuff, did they take them, like pick them up from school and take them to the sensory gym?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's
So we do
perfect.
after school care. One of our primary sources is after school care. We have a wide variety of kids. There are, like my wife mentioned, neurotypicals, some kids ADHD, some kids on the spectrum. So it's a good mix of
Sensory
kids.
disorders. I mean, we have all kinds of children at the gym, and the cool part is everyone plays together. Everybody accepts each other. And that's how it should be, because you don't know who you'll be working with when you become an adult, but you'll remember playing with this child. So I think that's the beauty of it all. It's a safe place. And so we're thankful to be able to bring something like this to North Alabama. This is a franchise, so there's one also in South Alabama.
Okay.
And so I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that either.
But there's one in South Alabama. Our territory is Birmingham as well.
Okay.
So if the Lord say the same, we'll be expanding to Birmingham or down the mountain from where we are in Huntsville.
Cool, yes. And I love that you guys are like kind of helping alleviate the stress from parents who may not be able to take their kids, or they don't have the transportation or work or whatever the case is, but also building up kids to be accepting. And like you said, when they get older, because it starts when they're younger and building that foundation. So like when they get older, if they see somebody with autism or special needs, they're like, oh, like I've been playing with them since I've been 5. So
Exactly. They're going to remember that. And I just think that's so key.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
You gotta have places like that.
Yes,
So.
yes, I love it. And so what made like the concept of like We Rock the Spectrum like just stand out to you guys, and you guys took over this gym?
So when, like I said, let's go back to when our sons, we have 2 boys, 2 different personalities, one with the autism, one that doesn't have autism, and we just wanted a place for both of them, right? So originally, like I said, we were going to look at opening just a sensory gym, and then I wrote down all of everything that I wanted inside the gym, everything, like how what all we wanted inside of it, and what it will do for the community and things like that. And so we started praying about it, and fasting. That's just what we do. We don't just jump into things. And then we started doing research, to see if anything like that was out there already, or to kind of get an idea on what we needed to invest in. And we came across We Rock the Spectrum. Well, not Huntsville. It was just called We Rock the Spectrum. So We Rock the Spectrum was birthed out of California. It's a suburb of L.A., Los Angeles. So it's called a little small town called Tarzana. And that's where the owner, the CEO, her name is Dina Kimmel. And her story was so similar to our story and her vision. And she has 2 kids, and she has one with special needs and one without. Her son has autism, her daughter does not. And so we instantly clicked. She started her business when she turned 40. I started we decided to do this when I turned 40. Yeah. I mean, we were just so in sync with and had so many of the similar things. And so that's what kind of made us say, well, do we want to do it on our own or go the franchise route? Well, we didn't have the background of operating a business like this. So we thought it would be safer to go the franchise route, which is why we did it this way. It was already established. And then she allows us to run our gym the way we need to run it, and how we need to kind of be a safe haven for North Alabama.
And what's very unique about We Rock the Spectrum, it's grown to now an international-based company.
Yes.
There's over 150 locations. Like my wife mentioned, we're the first in North Alabama. The closest being, besides the one in South Alabama, would be Franklin, Tennessee. What is very inspiring about We Rock the Spectrum is their motto. Their motto, and you'll see this in our gym, is finally a place I don't have to say sorry.
I love that.
Being autistic parents, a lot of individuals don't know about this, but when we go out to dinner, we're used to a time schedule. Hey, we got maybe 15, 20 minutes. Or
after we
know that our child might have disruption, or parents that are parents of special needs children, they can feel this. Where you go places, you might get the stares. Why is your child making noises? Why is your child being disruptive? Society
and they're just
says.
stimming. Yes. They make noises, and we always have to apologize for that.
Yeah, so that was very key in understanding that is that what's very unique in our place, our facility of We Rock the Spectrum. Kids are in there stimming. Kids are, crying. Some kids are in there laughing, but they're all just coping with their mechanism of releasing. So what we really pride ourselves on is, when parents come in, don't apologize. If your child is having an outbreak, let them have the outbreak. Just you have to be socially accepting. So.
Yes, and we have had some individuals that thought, oh, we never have to have a place where you never have to apologize. So my child can bite you and you don't have to apologize. No, it is not that. It is not anything that's dangerous. Okay, that can hurt other people. It's more so if your child is overstimulated or stimming, and they are crying and they are just kind of having an outburst of some sort. Let them be them. It is okay. They'll get regulated in there. So,
and I know that's so relieving too, because I bet it's really hard to have to go places and you have to always apologize. I have a cousin, and she grew up with me kind of like a sibling, and she had a baby who is on the autism spectrum, and so I know, like, even when I'm with them, I get nervous if she's playing at a regular park or something, because I know other kids might be a little rough or might not understand, and so I'm always like, no, I'm sorry, and so I bet it is really relieving to, like, just have a safe space for both the parent to not feel so stressed or worried, and then also the kid to just be free and just get it out their system.
You know what I think is important too, because I have noticed just in certain households, they they don't think, I think they don't think to teach their child who's a typical child, oh, be careful, it might be some special needs kids out there, you have to be patient. You know, maybe that child is autistic, or maybe that child has I don't know, sensory disorder or something. So we got to be patient and not be mean. You know, I think that's important for all families to kind of teach their children. I think that comes with parenting.
Right.
You know.
And, you know, and bringing back to just, you know, this event is, you know, autism awareness, just bringing that additional awareness that, you know, hey, it's okay to be around kids that are not just like
Right.
you.
Exactly.
Do your research, like my wife was mentioning. Take them to resources like We Rock the Spectrum. Take them to sensory inclusive facilities where they are adaptable for all kids. You know, it's part of educating yourself is understanding that everybody's not going to be like everybody.
And that's okay. And that's okay. And I agree. This is Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. So if your child is a typical child, take them to one of these resources like We Rock the Spectrum. You know, let them have a different experience this month.
Or
I think
encourage
that
them
would be
in
great.
the classroom to
Yeah.
just, you know, have a conversation with the
Yes,
children.
that is awesome.
Exactly.
Yes, go try to talk to a child with autism. They're not going to respond like you and I will respond, but learn how to be okay with that.
And there are like so many. I know at least growing up, there were opportunities in school to volunteer and like help with like an aid and things like that. And even that was always so helpful. Just being able to be around other kids that were around my age, but they were different, but we were able to still connect. And, one thing I really loved, I remember in middle school, I had a PE coach, and she did like an inclusive like basketball game, and so all the like neurotypical children would help out, and they just felt like the absolute world, like the special needs
love
children.
that.
So it was so sweet. It was the sweetest thing. So
I wish they would have more stuff like that, you know, where it's more of an inclusive.
Well, they do have a basketball league. Huntsville City has adapted that.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Where they actually do that, and then the Special Olympics is coming up.
The Special Olympics is. I have heard of that. So our son will be partaking in that.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. What is he going to be doing?
Whatever
we don't know.
Oh, okay, just whatever.
We don't know. Because, you know, they just kind of put in places. But we did tell them that, so our son on the spectrum loves water.
Okay.
Right? Anything with water. So he had swim lessons last year with his brother.
Okay.
And he did extremely well. So now he's a little swimmer. And I want to even venture out to say he taught himself how to float.
Okay.
And he is his most happiest, freest self in water. He loves to take baths. He loves to take showers. He just loves water. It's just, it's a sensory thing probably, but that's his happy place.
Yes, and I think that's a misconception a lot of people have too with autism. Like the children on autism spectrum are so smart.
They are. Oh my
and
gosh.
even like my cousin's baby, like she is nonverbal right now, but she is very smart. Like she'll still like grab our hand to like guide us to where like she wants to go and stuff.
Yes.
So, you know, it's amazing just the things that they're able to do. So I think that's one of the biggest things about having awareness and acceptance is just realizing that, you know, you have your own stereotypes in your mind and you don't know until you're around them to understand that you know, they are able to do just as much. So.
They are. They are.
Yes.
That is the great part, is they really are.
And I know you guys talked about the things that you wanted to have in the gym. And so what are some of the things that you guys have, like the equipment or some of the playthings that people can use that help them?
And so our gym, like it is a therapeutic equipment. So like my wife mentioned earlier, there's a zip line, there's a trampoline. We have a lot of swinging apparatuses, different types of swings.
Boat swings.
Yes, the release motion, then it calms you down. We have a basketball area. We have two climbing structures. We have a rope climbing structure, and we have just like a regular climbing rock wall. And in addition to that, and within our gym is a calming room. So if a child is just overstimulated, there is back in the back corner is a calming room where a child can just get away from everybody and
Yeah.
just self-motivate themselves and
The
self-relax.
lights are dim. There's
Yeah.
rocking chairs in
Yeah.
there.
We've seen kids fall asleep in there.
Oh.
It's just a getaway place.
Yeah.
We also have an arts and crafts section,
Mm-hmm.
and we have imaginary play station area where for the younger kiddos.
Yeah, which is a hit.
Yes. And I never even thought of like all those different things like coming together. So that's so intentional that you guys thought of, okay, this could help with this symptom, this could help with that. And so I think that's
Yes.
so awesome that you guys have that. And it could also give parents ideas too of like, oh, maybe we need to invest in like a little trampoline in the back of our backyard. Or
That's
something.
right.
So, yeah.
We also do. We also have a speech component that's in our gym, where we partner with Say It So Therapy. She does speech therapy. She's a speech pathologist. She comes in and see our children, and we do accept insurance for that. We accept right now Blue Cross Blue Shield, TRICARE, and I think we're about to start accepting Medicaid or something like that. But anyway, that's another thing we want the community to know. If your child needs speech therapy, we offer those services for them. And we're looking to expand to occupational therapy. As my husband said, Joaquin, our equipment is occupational therapy equipment. So all we need now is just a therapist to come on board and see our kiddos.
Yes, that's awesome. And I'm sure somebody will definitely at some point be able to do that. And
Yes.
you guys just seem like such a like one-stop shop for everything, like speech
That's
and
the
just
goal.
all the resources that a parent could need. And I think it's so amazing that you guys are doing this type of advocacy work, because I know it can be very overwhelming for parents to, especially if they have multiple children or if they're a single parent or something. And so that's amazing that you guys kind of are giving them that relief that they might need. So,
Yes.
And so one of your biggest missions that you guys talked about is inclusion. And so creating this space and stuff, how has that like helped with awareness and acceptance in your eyes? And how have you kind of seen that grow with the kids?
So, what I will say is I think the awareness is actually growing. And we're thankful for that, because we put this out for for our special needs community, right? So now we have we're partnered with Huntsville City Schools. They bring their special needs group. There's a group out in Morgan County. They bring their special needs group. It's a school. There's Madison City. They have been to our gym several times. Huntsville City, though, is a big deal, because they come quite often, just throughout the year. Their regular students and their special needs group come, so it's more of a combined effort.
So those are in regards to field trips, but in addition to that, like I mentioned earlier, we have after school programs. We do parent nights out. We have a big component of summer camp. And one of the big things that we encourage our staff to do is training. We train our staff to know how to deal with children of all different backgrounds. And what we also do with our staff is to have breakout sessions where we actually sit them down and have real life conversations to say, for our children that are having, what we call episodes, where they're expressing it in a different way, for our neurotypical kids, to encourage those children to say, hey, it's okay. And to, actually talk to them and say, this is why they are acting this way. So we teach our children at an early age, about the acceptance, about the awareness. Hey, all y'all are not going to be the same, but we all can come together. So parents' night out, so you'll have a mixed variety of kids. Summer camp, you'll definitely have a mixed variety of kids. And then, like I said, after school, it's a good mechanism for them all to work together. They're there from some cases 7:30 to 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon for summer camp. So you're going to get that time to work together. We play games together. They take field trips, like my wife mentioned, our bus. We take them to resources. We'll take them bowling. We'll take them to museums. So you're going to have to develop a buddy system where when we go on these field trips, some of these kids might need a little extra attention. So in addition to our staff, we make sure that our older kids work with our younger kids, and
Yes.
teaching them and working together with them as a buddy system.
And I think that's key to that we actually have children with special needs that we take on field trips. Sometimes we'll let the parents, we don't mind if the parents come. Yeah, the more the merrier, right? But the fact that they are able to experience, have these experiences, although they have special needs, is beautiful.
Yes, it
right?
is.
And the parents are grateful for that.
Yes.
And another one thing we haven't touched on, and is a very big component on the weekends, is we do birthday parties.
Oh,
Yes.
I
So,
love that.
you can book our facilities. You can have your own private birthday party. We do have a special category strictly for our special needs community.
Yes.
But we also have it for a neurotypical family. So birthday parties on the weekend are very popular, resource for our facility. But I have seen individuals where we've had cases where it is for the special needs community only. And one in particular was a quadriplegic child. And like I said, we're talking about autism, but in addition to that, quadriplegic, that individual just swung on our swing the whole time, and the parents were just at ease and the smile on their face to not only have a resource, but to finally find a place to actually host a birthday party for this individual. Made everything to their life. So I know we're focusing on autism, but We Rock the Spectrum is bigger than that. We're here for all types of kids. So, birthday parties is another avenue where, if your child wants to look into a resource, that is a good resource.
And I will say we have been growing year by year in our camps and Parents Night Out, in our summer camps, after school camps, and we also have preschool. So we have a preschool program that has been growing leaps and bounds. So we're very thankful for our teachers. We have certified teacher there, and then we have a couple of A's that help assist her.
And some of those children in our pre-K program are special needs. They're on the autism spectrum. So
Most of them.
They're still able to get resources and teaching them so that when they do go to the next transition to the kindergarten, that they're prepared.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I love that you guys are just creating that space for them so they don't feel left out. Because I know sometimes, at school or something, they can feel isolated, especially if they are having those moments where they want to be alone or other people don't understand. So just having, like you said, birthday parties where they know people are going to show up and they are going to have things to do. And so I just love that for them. So, yes.
And I love that there's a month for this,
me
because
too.
Sometimes I feel like the special needs community, autism, all special needs, we're kind of the forgotten, and so to be, I guess, recognized is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Needs to be recognized.
Yes.
And people need to know these different types of resources that are out there for them.
Yes.
So.
And I think too is one of those diagnosis that people call an invisible kind of diagnosis where you don't always see it from the outside. And so I think it's very great to know the symptoms or things that you can look out for to be like, oh, okay, they might be on the spectrum, being nice and helping them out and stuff, because I think when people kind of have an invisible type of diagnosis, people don't treat it the same as if you have you're in a wheelchair or something like that. So
that falls with our son, right? If you look at him, you really can't tell.
And as a parent, this is just a fair warning. Autism parents do not like for people to say, "Hey, your child doesn't like to have autism." I mean,
That's true.
Like you said, it
doesn't look like he has autism.
Right.
There's no look with autism.
Right.
It comes in many different forms, and it is a wide spectrum. So just a little, note, please.
Yes.
But they'll find out real quick when they try to talk to him.
Yes, and so I'm glad, and that's another reason why it's so important to have that awareness, so people know, to not come up to people and be like, oh, your child has autism. I would have never, that's just not something you can say to somebody, and and it's not taken lightly for people to say that. So
and that way people will know, I can't just assume I have to kind of, you got to assess children, and you gotta, and that's why I think it's important to even teach your children in the household about different types of kids that have special needs, that you may not know until that child's trying to play with them. Everything starts at home.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And reinforced at home.
Yes. And so what do you hope people will understand more throughout this month, and obviously beyond this month as well? And what does acceptance look like to you guys at the end of the day?
You want me? Okay. You want me to get that?
You can start. I'll conclude.
So, honestly, I just want everybody to understand that you're not going to always know if somebody has autism just by looking at them, right? Or you're not going to always yes, for some special needs individuals, you can tell, right? But for autism, we want everybody to understand that we are a resource here. And we're here for this community. That's why we brought it here, right? As far as, the city of Huntsville, they have really embraced it, in my opinion, because now they are providing these inclusive parks, right? And these are the parks we take our kids to, these inclusive parks. And so I think it's getting out there, but I don't want anybody to take this for granted, start taking this month for granted. Really understand that autism is a part of our world now.
Yes.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And so,
and from an autistic parent standpoint, I hate to say it, it's okay to not be okay. Look into resources, find a focus group, find a mom group, find a dad group, find resources to talk about these situations. This month is dedicated for awareness. So, do your research, even if you're not a child, you're even not a parent of a child with special needs, take a moment to research it, Understand that it's just something that they were just born this way. If, my wife and I accept this is what God presented to us, we knew that once it was diagnosed that we were going to do what we can do. There was no turning back on our son, and we were going to be
do what you have to do.
Resources we can to him. So, parents, just work as best as you can. I know it's tough. Each child is different. Look into resources. Find your resources. Find your outlets. If you're able to take advantage of a parents'
night out,
please come look at us.
That's why we offer these parents' night out, so that you can have a break for a couple hours. And
even more so, if you look at statistics, special needs parents marriages, it's not in favor. I think the last time I looked at it, it's around 20 to 30% of special needs parents actually make it. So you need that time, work together. You need that time to say, okay, I'll handle little Johnny, or little Susie can come with me. You need your resources, you need your outlets. But at the end of the day, you have to come together and know that it is a bigger plan, it has a bigger purpose. The child is here. So
and I wouldn't go into blaming each other and all that type of stuff. And as like Joaquin said, it is so much bigger. The kids need you together. So let's make sure that we keep our focus on the bigger picture here. Because it can be hard, it mentally, and it's okay to take, go to therapy over it as a parent. It is okay. For me, it was hard for me to accept it because I had never heard of this. Why does my child has to be this way, But after a lot of crying and praying, trying to figure out, all of this for me. I'm talking about me now. My husband, he's used to it. I was not used to it. And I had to come to terms that this is my son. This is how he is. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna do it. We're gonna work together, and we're gonna do what we can for our baby. Yeah. And your baby will always be your baby regardless. And that's what we did. We do a lot of praying, honestly, because we need help. It's a little bit. It's another level when you have a child with special needs. I'm sorry. I know you have to pray anyway when you have a child. Period. But when special needs come into play, it's another level of stress. It's another level of something that is not peace. That we need to come together and just accept and talk to each other and things like that. So we did want to say that. I don't know if we got off on a tangent.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But we have to keep it real with our community, because there's families out there that are struggling, and nobody's talking about this. And these are things that we need to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure your message is going to help so many different families and stuff, because it can, I'm sure, feel very isolating or just very stressful and overwhelming. And so knowing that you have a community of parents for you guys to connect with, but also children that your children can connect with, and just pretty much a big village for everybody to just have. So, but thank you both so much. And is there anything else that I maybe didn't ask or that you guys didn't cover that you would like to share?
Did we kind of spill everything?
I think you did good. We thank you for your time.
We appreciate y'all for being open to this, because we feel like this is a good, when you offered us to talk, I was like, now this is what I'm talking about. This is awareness. This is bringing awareness. This is bringing acceptance. And this community needs to see things like this, So we thank you all for being open to something like this.
Yes, and I definitely appreciate you guys for being vulnerable. I know it's not always the easiest to be able to just, share your story and everything. So I really appreciate you guys for being open and honest, sharing advice for other families. And is there a way for people to connect with you all on social media or anything?
Yeah, if you all can follow us on social media, on Instagram is WRTS Huntsville, and then on Facebook, it is just We Rock the Spectrum Huntsville. We also have email if anybody have any questions at all. It is info@werockthespectrumhuntsville.com. Anybody want to sign up for any of our camps or any parents' night out, anything preschool, our number, I would highly recommend you call the gym, speak to our teachers that are there. That number is 256-585-2179.
And then, I'm a personal person, so you can Google my name on Facebook, and except I talk to a lot of individuals often in messages, so Facebook and other social media, Instagram as well. But I speak my mind, and I'm here to provide a voice. So
he will tell you the truth.
Yes. I love it, and I'm so again glad that you guys were able to come. I love this is why a big reason why I wanted to do This Month Matters, just to bring awareness to all the various different things that happen per month, and just bring that awareness, acceptance about all the various different things people may not even know about that's happening right in their own backyard. So thank you both so much for joining me.
Oh yes.
And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of This Month Matters. As we recognize Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month, we encourage you to continue learning, supporting, and embracing inclusion for all. And so I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all for the next episode of This Month Matters.